Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a developing story that could significantly impact a major Philippine Coast Guard acquisition. OCEA Philippines, the local arm of French shipbuilder OCEA SA, has raised serious concerns over currency valuation, an issue that could spell delays or even a rework of the bidding process for new fast patrol boats. Stick around because this could be bigger than it seems. Let's start from the beginning. In November 2024, the Philippine government's National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, approved a major project for the Philippine Coast Guard. The goal: acquire several fast patrol crafts, a critical step in boosting the Coast Guard's patrol and rescue capabilities across the archipelago. At the time of approval, the project's value stood at approximately 420 million euros. Everything seemed on track until a significant detail emerged earlier this week. During the pre-bid conference on April 23, 2025, OCEA Philippines dropped a potential bombshell. The project is budgeted and bidded in Philippine pesos, not euros. And with currency fluctuations, that's a big deal. Here's the problem in simple terms. When NEDA approved the budget back in November 2024, the conversion rate gave OCEA about 420 million euros worth of project value. But by April 2025, the exchange rate had shifted. Now, when the Philippine peso budget is converted, it's worth only about 394 million euros. That's a shortfall of roughly 26 million euros. But why does this matter so much? When projects are funded in local currency, but pegged to foreign suppliers operating in euros or dollars, any sudden shift in exchange rates can lead to unexpected funding gaps. In defense procurement, this is a serious risk because contracts are typically locked in for several years. A 5 to 10% swing in currency value could mean millions in losses, or the need to downscale the original plans. OCEA's concerns also reflect a broader challenge that many foreign defense contractors face when dealing with countries like the Philippines, where budgets are often tightly controlled in pesos, but much of the equipment must be imported from abroad. And here's another layer to consider. The Philippine government cannot simply add more money to the project after bidding opens without triggering legal and procedural issues. Procurement laws in the Philippines require a competitive, transparent process. If the government suddenly changes the budget post-bidding, it could force a rebid, causing months or even years of delay. This is why OCEA's warning during the pre-bid conference is so critical. By raising the alarm early, they are signaling that without some sort of financial protection, like currency hedging, escalation clauses, or renegotiation mechanisms, the project could end up in trouble after the contract is signed. It's not just about fairness to bidders. It's about protecting the Philippine Coast Guard itself from future contract disputes or half-delivered assets. And it's not the first time this has happened either. Across Southeast Asia, multiple naval and Coast Guard projects have faced cost overruns or major delays because of overlooked currency and inflation risks. The big question now is, will the Philippine authorities proactively address this during the bid evaluation phase? Or will it become a bigger issue later on, when it's much harder and costlier to fix? To make things trickier, OCEA Philippines stated during the pre-bid that their initial cost calculations date all the way back to 2021, before inflation, before the Ukraine conflict, and before major global shipping cost increases. Now, here's where confusion started. A few news outlets, including the Philippine News Agency, reported that a notice of award, or NOA, had already been issued. But that's not possible. Why? Because the bid opening date, when the actual proposals are submitted and opened, is scheduled for May 5th, 2025. Today's date? April 28th, 2025. In short, no NOA can exist yet. because the bidding isn't even complete. Likely, this was a simple misunderstanding by the reporter, but it does highlight the sensitivity and importance of clear communication, especially for high-profile projects like this. Now, let's talk about the ships involved. The Philippine Coast Guard specified that the fast patrol crafts must be at least 35 meters long. This makes OCEA's FPB110 a strong contender. However, there's a catch. The base model of the FPB110, which measures around 35 meters, reportedly does not meet the full crew accommodation and operational range requirements set by the Coast Guard. OCEA would likely need to propose the larger FPB125, a 38-meter variant, or heavily customize the FPB110 to match the specs. And there's more. These new fast patrol boats will likely be equipped with heavier armament than before. It's anticipated that the vessels will have 30mm remote-controlled weapon systems, or RCWS, installed, a major upgrade compared to existing Philippine Coast Guard ships. Magbanua class 97-meter with 30mm RCWS. Parola class 44-meter with 12.7mm RCWS. Currently, the 97-meter Magbanua class will be fitted with a pair of 30mm RCWS. The smaller Parola class, at 44 meters, only carries 12.7mm RCWS, which many see as more of a token defensive measure than a serious combat capability. So the move to heavier, longer-range 30mm cannons for these new patrol boats marks a significant upgrade. So where does this leave the project? OCEA Philippines and the Philippine government now have to iron out these currency and price issues before a final decision is made. The bid opening on May 5th, 2025 will proceed, but expect discussions behind the scenes about currency hedging, price adjustments, or possibly even contract renegotiations depending on who wins. If not resolved properly, this could cause delays or open the door for other bidders to gain ground. It's a reminder that in defense procurement, small technicalities like currency rates can cause big ripples. We'll keep watching this story closely and bring you updates as they happen. Will the Philippine Coast Guard get the fast patrol boats it needs, on time and within budget? Or will currency complications force a rethink of the entire project? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe and see you in the next one.